April 2024, Estadio Olímpic, Luis Companys. Barcelona had reached the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time since 2020. In the first leg, Xavi Hernandez's team shocked Europe by beating Paris Saint-Germain 3-2 at the Parc des Princes. For a moment, it felt like Barca were finally back, but then chaos.
It's just outside, sets him up!
Vitinha scored, Ousmane Dembélé punished his former club, Kylian Mbappé finished the job.
The first goal we scored, everything was in our hands, and we just gave it in.
And Barcelona's European dream disappeared in one of the most painful nights of the entire Xavi era. That defeat wasn't an isolated disaster. It completed a miserable season. Barcelona had played inconsistent football, suffered 3 painful defeats against Real Madrid, and been humiliated in the Spanish Super Cup final, where Vinicius Jr. scored a hat-trick in only 40 minutes. No league title, no cup, no European glory, no clear direction.
Es el momento de pedir perdón a la afición. Ya he dicho antes, no hemos mostrado la cara que debe mostrar el equipo en una final.
Barcelona didn't simply look weaker than Europe's elite. They looked as though they no longer belonged among them. Then Hansi Flick arrived, and even his beginning looked worrying. Barcelona lost the Joan Gamper Trophy against Monaco, and the same doubts immediately returned. Was this another false beginning? Another manager trying to rebuild a club that no longer understood how to win? Flick answered emphatically. He transformed everything. Barcelona won La Liga, they won the Copa del Rey, they won the Spanish Super Cup, and they did it by repeatedly overpowering Real Madrid with better football, greater intensity, and ruthless attacking efficiency. At home, Barcelona were untouchable. 19 matches, 19 victories. Flick's team also recorded 11 consecutive league wins and finished the campaign with 28 victories, 4 draws and 6 defeats. They scored 102 goals, conceded 39, a goal difference of plus 63. This wasn't simply a recovery, it was a warning. Barcelona had become dangerous again. In the Champions League, they finally broke through the quarter-final barrier and reached the semi-finals for the first time since 2019. But once again, Europe ended in heartbreak. Inter found a way to break Flick's structure, survived Barcelona's pressure and turned the tie around in extra time. The elimination felt every bit as painful as Anfield. Barca had come close enough to see the final, then it disappeared. The following season brought more domestic dominance. In 2026, Barcelona became the first team in the 20-club history of La Liga to win all 19 home matches in a single campaign. And on May 10th, they became champions by defeating Real Madrid at the Camp Nou. For the first time in the club's history, Barcelona secured the league title by beating Madrid at home. But Europe remained the final barrier. Against Atletico Madrid, an early red card for Pau Cubarsí in the first leg changed the entire tie. Julian Alvarez produced a brilliant goal. Barcelona responded with good collective football in the return match, but it wasn't enough. Once again, the Champions League escaped them. That is why the 2026-27 season feels different. This is no longer the beginning of Flick's project. This is the moment the new generation truly takes control. Robert Lewandowski is no longer the centre of everything. Ronald Araujo has gradually become more of a rotation option. The squad is younger, faster, more experienced, and now filled with players who already know what it feels like to become world champions. Barcelona are no longer asking teenagers to save a broken team. They are building around young footballers who have already survived title races, Clásicos, Champions League knockout ties, and the pressure of representing one of the biggest clubs on the planet. And behind them, another wave is coming. Ibrahima Tunkara, Hamza Abdelkarim, Alvaro Cortés, Jofre Torrents, the Fernandez brothers. A new generation preparing to join players who are still nowhere near their prime. Then came the new signings, Anthony Gordon, Karim Adeyemi, 2 players who could completely change the speed of Barcelona's attack. Just look at the numbers. Anthony Gordon has reached 37.92 kilometers per hour. Adeyemi has hit 36.3. Lamine Yamal has reached 35.5. Rafinha, at 32.8, is hardly slow himself. Barcelona could now possess one of the quickest attacks in European football, and speed at this level changes everything. A defender cannot step forward confidently when Gordon is waiting behind him. A fullback cannot move inside when Adeyemi is ready to attack the touchline. A centre-back cannot follow Lamine into midfield without leaving space behind. If these players develop the right understanding, opposing defences will have almost no time to react. But pace is only one part of the threat. Barcelona already possess serious end product. Last season, Lamine Yamal produced 24 goals and 18 assists. Ferran Torres recorded 21 goals and 3 assists. Fermin Lopez delivered 13 goals and 17 assists. Rafinha added 21 goals and 8 assists. Together, those 4 players produced 79 goals and 46 assists. That is 125 direct goal contributions. And now Barcelona are adding even more speed around them. That should terrify the rest of Europe. Because Flick has already proven he can turn this squad into winners. He is demanding, obsessive, competitive, and completely committed to Barcelona. Now he has a squad combining youth, experience, pace, goals, and world-class talent. Real Madrid may have signed almost every player available, but even that may not be enough. Barca are building a generation that has already won, already suffered, already learned, and now appears ready to take over world football. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. Hansi Flick's career has been far more influential than many people realise. Long before he became a Champions League winning manager, Flick spent 8 years working as Joachim Löw's assistant with Germany. From 2006 to 2014, he was considered by many to be the tactical brain operating behind the scenes. He helped prepare Germany's match plans, coordinated training ideas, and played an important role in building the team that eventually lifted the 2014 World Cup. Flick already understood how championship teams were constructed. He simply had not been given one of his own yet. That opportunity finally arrived at Bayern Munich in November 2019. Niko Kovac had been dismissed after a dreadful start to the season, with Bayern sitting 4th in the Bundesliga. Flick was only supposed to be a temporary solution, a safe pair of hands until the club found somebody bigger. Instead, he built one of the most dominant teams football has ever seen. His idea was crystal clear: suffocating pressure, explosive attacks across all the field, a midfield capable of running, pressing, and playing through pressure, and a lethal striker finishing everything inside the box. Bayern did not simply recover, they won every trophy available: Bundesliga, German Cup, Champions League, German Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Club World Cup, a historic sextuple. Flick then added another Bundesliga title during his second season. The numbers were absolutely mental. Pep Guardiola had won 21 of his first 25 matches as Bayern manager. Flick won 22, producing the greatest start by a new coach in the club's history. Across 86 matches, he recorded 70 victories, 9 draws, and only 7 defeats, an 81% winning percentage. He finished with the same number of defeats as trophies, 7. That is not normal. His spell with Germany was far more disappointing, but it did not erase what he had already proven. Flick arrived in Barcelona carrying trophies, records, and one of the most aggressive football philosophies in Europe, a combination of German gegenpressing and Barcelona's positional game, and he immediately tore La Liga apart. People said Barcelona were broken, that the squad needed years of rebuilding, that the club could no longer compete with Real Madrid or Europe's richest teams. Flick proved otherwise. In his first season, Barcelona won everything available in Spain, and the transformation was best seen against Real Madrid. Before the first Clásico, people expected Kylian Mbappé to destroy Barcelona's high defensive line. Instead, Flick's team delivered a masterclass at the Santiago Bernabeu. Barcelona won 4-0. Their offside trap repeatedly caught Madrid's forwards. Their pressing prevented the midfield from controlling the match. And in attack, Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal completely overwhelmed the champions. That was only the beginning. In the Spanish Super Cup final, Mbappé gave Madrid an early lead. For a few minutes, it looked as though the script might change. Then Barcelona exploded. Lamine scored, Lewandowski scored, Rafinha took over, Alejandro Balde joined the attack. Barcelona won 5-2. Another Clásico, another tactical demolition. Then came the Copa del Rey final. Pedri opened the scoring with one of the finest goals of the season, but Mbappé and Aurélien Tchouameni turned the match around during the second half. Barcelona appeared to be heading towards defeat. Ferran Torres refused to let it happen. After receiving Lamine Yamal's pass, he equalised and forced extra time. Then Jules Koundé became the hero, smashing a long-range strike beyond Thibaut Courtois to win the trophy. The final League Clásico produced even more chaos. Mbappé scored a brilliant hat-trick. It still was not enough. Barcelona came back once again, with Eric Garcia, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal helping Flick's side win 4-3. 4 matches against Real Madrid, 4 victories, 2 league wins, the Spanish Super Cup final, the Copa del Rey final. Before the season, people said Mbappé would humiliate Barcelona. Instead, Flick's Barcelona defeated Madrid every single time, and they did it through better football, better pressing, better movement, better tactical discipline, and a young core led by Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Rafinha, and Lewandowski. But Flick's greatest achievement may not be the trophies. It may be the group he has created. Barcelona no longer look like a collection of talented individuals carrying the weight of the club's problems. They look united, they run for one another, they press together, they celebrate together. And most importantly, Flick has shown complete faith in youth. Pau Cubarsí became a defensive leader. Gerard Martin earned important minutes. Marc Bernal emerged as a serious midfield option before his injury. Flick did not use the academy players because Barcelona had no other choice. He trusted them because they fitted his football. Now he enters a position very few Barcelona managers ever reach. 2 consecutive La Liga titles, 2 seasons filled with trophies, strong European campaigns, a squad that already believes in him. Flick no longer needs to prove that his methods can work in Barcelona. He has already done that. The next step is refinement. Pep Guardiola's greatest Barcelona side arrived during the 2010-11 season, his 3rd year in charge. That was when the ideas were fully understood, the relationships became automatic, and the team reached its highest level. Flick is now entering his 3rd season, and look at what he has. A united dressing room, a consolidated tactical system, world champions who are still years away from their prime. Lamine Yamal will be only 19. Pau Cubarsí will also be 19. Pedri is 23. Marc Bernal is 19. Ferran Torres is 26. Dani Olmo is 28. These are not players reaching the end of a cycle. They are entering the strongest years of their careers. And behind them, another generation is already coming. That is what makes this Barcelona side so frightening. Flick has already taught them how to win. Now they have experience. They have suffered in Europe. They have dominated Spain. They have beaten Real Madrid repeatedly. And they are still getting better. The first season restored belief. The second created consistency. The third could produce something much bigger. This is a championship team entering the moment when everything may finally come together. Hansi Flick's next mission is clear. He has already restored Barcelona. Now he must build the next version of it. And that means turning La Masia's newest talents into first-team players capable of solving real problems. The first name is Ebrima Tunkara. Ebrima is only 16, but his profile already looks built for modern football. He combines the technical quality expected from a La Masia midfielder with unusual physical power for his age. Standing close to 1.80 metres, he can receive behind the opposition midfield, turn smoothly, and drive forward to break defensive lines. That is what makes him different. He doesn't simply pass around pressure, he attacks it. Ebrima also possesses a dangerous strike from distance and the vision to play the final pass. Last season he finished as Barcelona's 3rd highest league scorer with 9 goals and was named MVP of the European Under-17 Championship. That doesn't mean he is already complete. He is still developing mentally and tactically, but his qualities could give Flick something extremely valuable, a midfielder who can add dynamism, goals and physical intensity from the second line. Against deep defensive blocks, Ebrima can break the game through a vertical carry or a shot from outside the box. When Barcelona lose possession, his athleticism allows him to press aggressively and immediately attack the ball. He has the technique of a Barcelona midfielder, but the body and energy of the modern game. Then there is Hamza Abdelkarim, who just arrived last season to Barca Athletic. The young Egyptian is a mobile number 9 with natural finishing instincts and an excellent ability to play with his back to goal. In Egypt, many already see him as one of the country's greatest talents and a possible heir to Mohamed Salah's importance for the national team. But Hamza is not a striker who simply waits inside the penalty area. He moves constantly. He can combine with midfielders, drift into wide areas, and leave his central position to create space for wingers and attacking midfielders. Inside the box, however, he becomes ruthless. His greatest strengths are his first-time finishing and his ability to recognise free spaces before defenders react. We saw it immediately in his Barcelona debut against Birmingham. He scored twice. First, he provoked a penalty and converted it with complete confidence. Then he reacted quickest to a rebound and scored again. 2 completely different goals. The first showed personality, the second showed instinct. Perhaps Barcelona do not need to spend huge money on another striker. Perhaps the number 9 they need is already inside the club. Hamza can provide the reference point Barcelona's positional game always requires. He can pin centre-backs, offer a clean passing option in the final third, and connect attacks through short combinations. More importantly, he can finish the enormous number of crosses and through balls this team creates. At 18, he has already played at a World Cup and faced elite opposition. At Barcelona, age has stopped being an excuse. If you are good enough, you play. Then comes Álvaro Cortés, a centre-back with the Barca identity written all over his game. Calm in possession, strong in the air, aggressive when necessary, and intelligent enough to defend a high line. Cortés can play short passes through pressure, break midfield lines with firm ground passes, and switch the play accurately over longer distances. That is essential for Flick. Barcelona cannot dominate matches if their centre-backs panic when pressed. The first line must attract the opponent, remain calm, and then find the player left free behind the pressure. Cortés can do that, but he is not only a ball-playing defender. His anticipation and reading of danger also allow him to defend in open space. That matters because Barcelona's fullbacks frequently push forward, leaving the centre-backs exposed to counter-attacks. Cortés has the intelligence to cover those areas and correct the spaces behind them. Joffrey Torrents offers a completely different solution. He is an attacking left-back with the stamina to cover the entire flank, the timing to recognise when to overlap, and the technical quality to deliver accurate crosses while running. But Joffrey is not limited to the touchline. He also understands when to move inside. That gives Flick tactical variety. If the winger remains wide, Joffrey can invert into midfield and help create a numerical superiority around the ball. That flexibility is vital in modern football. The best fullbacks no longer stay in one lane for 90 minutes. They read the situation. Joffrey can give Barcelona depth, width, and another player capable of helping control midfield. Then there are the Fernandes cousins. Toni Fernandes is pure attacking talent. He can play as a number 10 on the right wing or behind the striker. A left-footed player with close control, creativity, and the ability to produce something unexpected in the final third. Toni is comfortable in tight spaces. He can beat defenders 1 versus 1, slow an attack down before playing the decisive pass, or accelerate when he sees an opening. That makes him particularly valuable against defensive blocks. When the system cannot create the opening, Toni can invent one. His versatility also gives Flick several options. He can start wide and move inside onto his stronger foot, or play centrally between the lines as a creative midfielder. Guille Fernandes offers balance. He is a complete midfielder with the intelligence to organise possession and the physical ability to cover ground from box to box. Guille can control the rhythm from deeper areas, make decisions under pressure, and then arrive late into the penalty area to contribute goals and assists. He represents exactly where La Masia is heading. Positional intelligence combined with physical intensity. Technique combined with running power. Calmness combined with aggression. He could give Barcelona greater balance in midfield while also adding surprise from the second line. And that is the exciting part. These players are not identical. They solve different problems. Ebrima brings power and verticality. Hamza offers movement and finishing. Cortés provides clean build-up and defensive intelligence. Joffrey brings depth and tactical flexibility. Toni supplies magic in the final third. Guille gives midfield control and box-to-box energy. That is how great academies strengthen a first team. Not by producing the same player repeatedly, but by producing different answers for different situations. This season could be massive because Flick's project is entering its third year. The system is already established. The players understand one another. They know what it feels like to win. They also know what it feels like to suffer and lose in Europe. Now the first team experience can combine with a new group of academy players ready to add depth and competition. And there is something deeply symbolic about this generation. These youngsters grew up watching Messi, Xavi and Iniesta. They saw Barcelona at the top of the world. Then they watched the collapse, the humiliations, the financial problems, the nights when Europe stopped fearing the club, and now they are watching its rebirth from inside the academy. The children who grew up during Barcelona's fall could become the players who complete its return. Flick has won at the highest level in Europe. His first team core is young, experienced and already decorated. The tactical structure is stable. The academy is producing solutions. Now Flick must take them one step further, from rebuilding Barcelona to creating another historic Barcelona.